What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Definitely a super late start in our day. Why? Because this rack and pinion just showed up. Now, because today is Monday and track is on the 17th, I am still trying to push the KRX to make it out there. So that means I'm going to try to utilize all of the time that I have right now until track day to get this car ready. Even if we don't make it, at least we're putting in the effort to try and make it. This is a rack and pinion I got from rockauto.com, and this took a little while to show up, but this was the last one in stock. It is a manual SI steering rack, and I'm gonna replace the one in this car because this car has a lot of steering rack play. And I mean, I didn't even check the joint, but check this out. So I'm not gonna waste any time trying to talk too much in this video, guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this car jacked up, the wheels out, and since we're running out of daylight, the light on. That's when you know your inner rods are bad. If you buy new outer tie rods, be sure to take note of the labels. L for left, R for right. L, driver, R, passenger. So I went through my book. I mean, the CRX and the wagon, same subframe, same rack-ish. I went through it to make sure that what I know is how I'm supposed to take off the steering rack. So before I get underneath the car to remove the rack and brackets and stuff, I have to remove my header. In the book it says, you know, when you have single cam or B series, you got to remove the header to the exhaust. In my case, I have a header. I just got to remove that from the exhaust as well, and then the steering rack should have plenty of room to shimmy its way out of the subframe. This is a little tricky. I don't remember how I got this in here with the half shaft. So under the driver's side footwell, you have to remove the steering column joint thing that's behind this plastic. And there's a couple clips. There's one there. There's one up here. This guy right there. There's a couple like plastic screw things right here. Oh, that one just came off somewhere. There's another one over there. Just unscrew it, it'll come off like that. At least for the EF, you gotta pop this plastic off to get to that joint right there. So it's a little plastic push tab. Got plenty of those. There's like a little 10 mil right there that you got to take off from the steering rack itself. You could remove this one and this one, you know, to make it easier, right? But you just got to take off this bottom one. I think I'm going to take off this top one right here to slide it up so we can get this off the steering rack itself. And that is, I believe, a 10 mil. I got right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this one. A little bit. Then this one, I gotta rotate it to be able to put the tool in here, whichever way. And this one, I'm gonna remove it all the way. This is a little tricky. There's that, right? I'm gonna take this bolt out as well. So what I did was I slide this joint up the shaft and it popped off the steering rack right there. Underneath the subframe, the brackets that hold up the steering rack are these guys right here. They are 14 millimeter, 2 on each side. Kind of wish I had a new bushing to go in place of this, but I didn't really think about it. So that's one side. I did leave the header here hanging. We do have enough space to pull this rack out. I didn't want to take out a whole bunch of unnecessary things just to pull the header off, which is going to go back up anyway. Oh wow, this thing was loose. My click-clacking noise was maybe because this was loose. No, this one's tight. Anyways, it has messed up inner rods anyway, so I'm gonna just swap the whole thing out. Okay, so what it is you got to turn the rack all the way to the passenger side, so this inner rod goes all the way in, and you kind of just angle it out, and then right there you can see out the hole. All I did was I pulled it down and swung it out of the hole so we can shove it to the passenger side all the way. And then here comes your rack. Oh yeah. Normally when the inner rods are bad, they sag. And this is pretty bad. You guys heard the clunky noise that this had, and the boots and stuff is all messed up anyways. But I figured I'd give it a fresh rack since this car is supposed to be my track car, right? Track car. And I'd rather give it a new rack anyway. So the good thing is the person who had this car before me or before him changed the outer rods, and these are in good condition. It doesn't seem like the rubber is deteriorating at all, and they feel really firm and stiff. So I'm gonna reuse these guys. But this rack and pinion I bought from Rock Auto actually has the inner rods and boot. Well, I mean, before I even say that, let's open that real quick. Yes, sir. Inner rods and boot is already attached to this one. Read the description carefully when you guys buy it. This one says it did come with it. There was another one that said it didn't come with it. So mine did, so that's freaking awesome. So I got this somewhat equal length. It looks identical to the other one, and I'm about to get this back into the car in just a minute. But yeah, this is the new rack and pinion from Rock Auto. I paid $180 shipped, tax and all that stuff shipped to my door. It took a week. You know, granted, the whole COVID thing going on right now, but it came a day in earlier, so that's awesome. Unfortunately, I'm reusing the same bushing right here. I wish I had a new one, but I didn't think I was going to change this until I realized my rack was messed up. So I'm going to go ahead and reverse the process, guys, and get this back into that subframe. So right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the joint back onto the steering rack. I'm gonna go ahead and put these two 10 mils back in, lock these two guys back into place. What I'm gonna do is I am going to rotate this all the way to the driver's side. Whoops. Oh, whoops. All the way to the driver's side right there. And I'm gonna put this straight. Somewhere there, right? Now I'm gonna go all the way to the passenger and keep track of how many revolutions it takes to get to the passenger. And then we're gonna split it in half, go back the other way halfways revolution, and then you know, get the steering wheel recentered. So passenger right here, 1, 2, 3. That's like 3 1/4, a little over a quarter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back. Let me see, how am I gonna do this? So from here to here, this 90, 45, I'm gonna go half of a quarter, and then from right here, I'm gonna go 1 1/2, which is half of 3. So 1, that's 1 revolution, and then half. So half would be like right there. It's not going to be exact, guys. That's why you got to go to alignment shop after doing your steering rack. But I'm going to go ahead and take this back out, dead center this guy ish, and then it should be about the same amount of revolution to go full left lock and full right lock. So right there, 1, a little over 1 1/2. So I'm gonna go back. So I'm gonna go 1. It's about the same. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna do it one more time just to make sure, and then I'll put the bolt back in, and then we'll go back and put the tie rods on. So I measured this right here to the original one, and they are very, very similar. Now, I don't know if the thread counts are the same, but what I did was I marked the old rack, right, with the starting thread right here pointing up. So, where is it at? Starting thread. So here's a starting thread. So from the back, I counted 6 where I marked the old rack, and that's where I'm going to place this nut to kind of give me a rough idea of where the outer tie rods are going to sit. So all I'm going to do here is pretty much thread the outer, actually I can see it better like that with it facing downward. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and count that 6, lock it, reinstall the nut for this guy, and don't forget your cotter pin. Alright guys, so rack and pinion is installed, tie rods are reinstalled. I'm gonna leave the car on the jack stands for right now. The wheels are not on it as well, because I think tomorrow what I want to do is I want to install this resonator. It is a much bigger resonator than the one that's currently on the car. The one that's on the car is a vibrant, ultra quiet oval resonator, but it's still really loud. This one right here, the longer the better, the bigger the better. I want to install this to see if it'll quiet down the tone on the KRX with the full 3-inch exhaust system. I am wrapped up for tonight. I'm probably going to continue that tomorrow really quickly. I don't want to show you guys me struggling going underneath the car back and forth, back and forth. I want to get it installed and might do a sound test, but that's what I want to do tomorrow. So we'll see you then. All right guys, so next day here, I got the car jacked up, got the exhaust taken off the car, and this is a true Benz piping kit. It has a vibrant street power exhaust muffler box, and it has a vibrant ultra quiet resonator 3-inch. This, for one, it hits the top of my tunnel. You can see it's scraping all the like undercoating, and it rattles every now and then. So I'm switching to a smaller bottleneck style. And 2, the longer the resonator, the quieter it becomes. This is kind of loud when you get onto it. and I just want to see if this is going to make it quieter. On top of that, hopefully we can avoid rubbing issues. So what I'm doing right now is I mean, I already cut the flange off, tacked it on here just now, and what I did was I measured right there to the tip of this guy, which used to be, this is 27 inches, and I have to pretty much make sure this is going to be 27 inches to the tip. So it's going to be something like that. I'm going to measure it, right, measure out 27 inches, and then I'm gonna mark it, cut it, and then weld it on, get it as straight as possible, so that way this is gonna point to the donuts on the end of the header. On the track, it doesn't matter how loud your car is unless you're racing at like Laguna Seca or something, but I just want this car to be a little quieter for street driving anyways, so that's why I'm doing this exhaust. So I'm gonna go ahead and just knock this out real quick, test fit, if it looks good, weld it, and then we'll see how it sounds. So I got the exhaust fitted back up, right? The hanger over there, hanger over there, and for some reason my jack stand doesn't reach. Huh. So I got the header bolted back up to the exhaust, and the two bolts are in place. That fitted perfectly. And the last thing I got to do is put this hanger up right here in the middle. So all I did was I cut this off the old one, and then I just gotta, let me see, let's put this one on. Just gotta put this on, and then pretty much just weld it up right there. Oh yeah, brother. So the car is not running an idle air control valve, and I've mentioned that before. When you first turn it on, it goes to like idle right away, and it's actually super quiet. But it's when you rev it out, it's when it's loud. So with the new resonator, let's see how loud it is when you rev it out. Right, super quiet on the startup. It don't really sound like much. Super duper quiet. Not too loud. Okay. That sounds the same. So I just wanted to try it out. I guess the longer the resonator, not the quieter. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. I mean, I've driven cars louder, it's not a big deal. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to do for this video, guys. I am still waiting for a few odds and ends to get this car buttoned up. I should have this car actually registered like tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow. And I'm gonna pay the fee just to keep this car on the road and make it my new daily driver. The other car just makes too much noise, fuel pump, fan, twin disc. This car is a little more subtle on the street as long as I keep it in low RPMs. It shouldn't be too loud. If you guys are in my area, you guys know that it's been really bad. We're getting pulled over for no reason because of all the sideshows and stuff that's been happening. All of the stupid burnouts and ruckus that people cause at car meets and burning spots up. They're literally pulling people over if your car looks modified, and people are going to the ref station. If you guys aren't from California, the ref station is not a place to be for a car enthusiast. So for me to drive this car and keep it a little more sleeker on the street versus the red car, I want to make this my commuter car, for K-Series commuter car. Who would have thought? But I mean, that car is worse to commute opposed to this car, I think. So I'm gonna get this car ready for the road soon, guys. I am still shooting for the track, but my hopes are still up there, and we won't know until the days go by, and depends on how much work I put into this car to get it ready. But that is going to be the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's progress update, and if you guys did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. The wagon should be sorted out here really soon, so all the fun stuff is going to come. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay posted. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.